Methodist Girls' School, MGS, prelim paper for 2023. This is paper 2. So for this paper, you can use your calculator. Question 1. Measure and write down the length of BC. So BC is here. I can't show you the measurements here, but your answer should be about 4.1. So we can accept the acceptable range will be between 4 cm and 4.2. So if you get anything within that range, it's fine. So anything between 4 and 4.2 is okay, okay? Then same for angle ACB for part B. Measure with a protractor, you should get about 94 degrees. So anything between 92 degrees to 95 degrees is fine. So the top one will be 4 to 4.2. Question 2. Figure below is made up of two identical four-sided figures. It's cut into two. So find the sum of A, B, and C. Now take note that they are identical. So this 62 degrees here will correspond with this. So this one is written for you already. It wasn't supposed to be there. So anyway, you need to find the angles, sum of angles A, B, and C. In a quadrilateral, the total angles will be 360 degrees. So if you want to find A, B, and C, you just need to take 360 minus 62. $298 degrees. Question 3. Kenny took 3 hours to paint 3 bedrooms. He took the same amount of time to paint the first 2 bedrooms. He took 15 minutes longer to paint the third bedroom than the first. How many minutes did he take to paint the third bedroom? Okay, so same amount of time for the first 2, but 15 more minutes for the third one. So if I were to draw a model, it will look something like that. First and second, same amount of time, but for the third one, it's an extra of 15 minutes. And the total time taken to paint all 3 bedrooms is 3 hours, and 3 hours is 180 minutes. So we are supposed to find the third bedroom, which is 1 unit and 15. So first 180, 3 units. 180 minus 15. 165. Then we take to find 1 unit, 165 divided by 3. 55. So to find the third bedroom, 55 plus 15. 70 minutes. Question 4. PQRT and PRSU are rectangles. You have this 8 cm, 6 cm, and 10 cm. Find the length of RS. RS. Okay, so if you have these two rectangles are not identical, but okay, let's focus on this first rectangle. If I want to find, okay, eventually I want to find RS, right? How can I find RS? If I can have the area of this rectangle, I divide by the length, I'll get the breadth, which is RS. So let's try and find the area of this rectangle. Now this rectangle has this triangle that is overlapping with the other rectangle, right? So to find the area of this triangle is actually the same as this triangle here. So half times base times height, use the correct base and height. We should be using 8 and 6, which is 24 square cm. So this is 24. Now, if you focus on this rectangle, right? 24, that triangle, this triangle here, is actually half of the area of this whole rectangle. So this whole rectangle is actually 24 times 2, which is 48. So since the area is 48, I will divide by the length of 10 to get the breadth. 4.8. So answer 4.8. Question 5. The cube is in figure 1 is formed by forming the net shown in figure 2. So which of the faces below is represented by X in figure 1? So this is the X in figure 1. It's right next to this lightly dotted one. Also right next to this sandy looking side. So these two sides are over here, right? So what comes like, what will touch these two squares? So it will be this brick looking one. Okay, so this is the X that is shown in figure 1. Question 6, Mr. Raja paid a total of $1,406.40 for a laptop and a camera at a sale. The price of the camera before discount was $864. So what was the price of the laptop before the discount? Okay, so total amount paid is 1406.4. That one is after the sale. After the sale as shown over here. Now the camera itself is 864 before discount. So the camera could have been either the first or the second item, right? But the first item must be the more expensive one. Because over here it says price of the second item must be equal or less. So assuming they have different prices, right? Then this one will be the more expensive one. Second item must be equal or less. So this one is a cheaper one. So with $864, let's take it as the first item. So what happens if camera is the first item? So basically, we are saying that the camera is the more expensive one before discount. So we're going to use that, and then we're going to find out the answer for the price of a laptop. And that price of a laptop, if this is correct, then it would be the cheaper amount. Okay, so let's use 864 as the cheaper item. So 864 will be at 10% discount. You are paying 90%. So 90 out of 100 times 864. 777.6. So this is the price after discount, and now we use this total amount and minus this off. So laptop. After discount, 1406.4 minus 777.6. And yes, it works out to be correct that the laptop is actually the cheaper item compared to the camera. Okay, so with this is the after discount, but you're supposed to find the original price. There is a 20% discount, so this itself is actually 80%. So 80% of laptop is this. You want to find original price, which is 100%. So you find 1%, then you find 100%. So 628.8 divided by 80, 786. 786 times 100. $786. Okay. So what happens if you take the camera as a second item, then you realize that when you calculate, right, the laptop will actually end up being cheaper. So then that will be incorrect and you have to do it the other way then. Question 7. We have a graph here. A tank with a capacity of 1,200 liters was 1/10 filled with water at first. So that's the starting point. Then Tony turned on the tap to add more water to the tank. That's why it's increasing. Line graph below shows the volume of water in the tank over 12 minutes after the tap was turned on. So what was the volume at first? Initially, the capacity is 1,200 liters. It's 1/10 filled. So you can find what is 1/10 of that. 120 liters. So this starting point over here is 120. And that is 6 intervals. So every interval is 20 liters. So this one is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, so 120 is there. Next part of the question, what was the volume after 18 minutes? Okay, we have up till 12 minutes, right? So the 18 minutes will be like beyond the graph, and we need to know how much does it fill? How fast is it filling up? So let's look at maybe from here 0 to 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, what was the increase in volume? This is 120, then this is 180, followed by 240. So the increase is from 120 to 180. So 180 minus 120, which is 60. Every 2 minutes is increase of 60 liters. Now the very last one at 12 minutes mark. This is 480. We are going to find 6 more minutes beyond this 12. Okay, because we want 18 minutes, right? So you want to find 6 more minutes. Okay, so 18 minus 12 minutes, that's how we get the 6 minutes. So in 6 minutes, how much more is added? So from here to here, we times 3, not times 6. So 60 times 3 is 180. We add 180 to 480. So let's stop at 480. We want 6 more minutes, which is 180 liters. This is 660 liters. Okay, there'll be 660 liters at the end of 18 minutes. Question 8. Kelly bought a total of 40 pieces of squares and rectangular craft paper. She cut all the squares into 3 rectangles. She now has a total of 92 rectangles. How many pieces of rectangular craft paper did she buy? So there are squares and rectangular craft paper, right? But every square you can cut out to get rectangles from the squares. So basically, if this is the square, cut into 3 rectangles from a total of 40 pieces, right? She ended up having 92 pieces. So that increase in the number of pieces, 92 minus 40, there's an increase of 52 pieces, right? So what happens, what causes this this increase? This increase is due to this conversion of a square into 3 rectangles. So every exchange, let's call it an exchange. So each exchange, what happens is, how many extra pieces do you end up with? From one square, one piece, right? You end up with 3 pieces. So there is an increase of 2 pieces, because 3 minus 1, there's an increase of 2. So if there is a total increase of 52, then the number of exchanges that happened would be 52 divided by 2, 26. So this happened 26 times. This happened 26 times means that there were actually 26 squares at first. Squares. So if there are a total of 40 pieces at first and 26 of them are squares, then we take 40 minus 26, which is 14 rectangles at first. Question 9, graph below shows the mass of a cup when empty and when different combinations of objects A, B, and C are placed in a cup. So what is the mass of the empty cup? Mass of the empty cup can be read from the bar graph here. There are 10 intervals, so every interval is a 10 plus 10 grams. So this over here is a 80 grams. Sorry, 70 grams. This is 70. Empty cup, 70 grams. Okay, what is the mass of object A? Now, we can't get object A on its own, but we have different combinations. Let's find out what are the masses of each. This is 280. This is 9874, 370, and 340. Okay, with all these combinations, right, we need to figure out a way to get just A out. A and B, if we were, okay, now let's remove the cups from each of them. So we can find A and B, we can find A and C, we can find B and C. So A and B is 280 minus 70. Then 370 minus 70. Then the last one is B and C, which is 340 minus 70. 270. Now, what we do here is we'll add everything up. If you add everything up, you notice that you have 2 of A, 2 of B, 2 of C. And when you add everything up, you'll end up with 780. Then, sorry, this is 2 of C. Then next, let's find one of each. So one of A, one of B, and one of C. So I'll take 780 and divide it by 2, which is 390. Now, if I want to find just A, I will have to remove B and C. And B and C is actually 270. So just A itself is 390 minus 270, which is 120 grams. Next, what is the average of A, B, and C? Now, we have already found the total of A, B, and C earlier, which is 390. So we can just take 390 divide by 3 to get the average. So answer, 130 grams. Next angle question, we have a rhombus. PQRS is a rhombus. Then we have parallelogram. STUV is a parallelogram. PSV, this is a straight line, and then we have the 48 degrees, 21 degrees, and 116 degrees here. So find angle QPS. Okay, to find angle QPS, because it's a rhombus, all the sides are the same, we end up with isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle, so this is also 48. So basically 180 minus 48 minus 48. 84 degrees. And now I'm just going to label all these 48. Why is this 48? Because this one is parallel. So you have an alternate angle, which means that isosceles here as well. So this is also 48. All right. Next, this is 84. Find RST. 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 Okay, to find RST, angles on a straight line means that I have 48, I have 48. If I can find this, I would be able to find RST. And this angle over here, because we have parallel lines and they are actually very useful, interior angles 116 and this angle TSB gives you 180. So 180 minus 116, you'll end up with TSV. All right, so angle TSV will be 64 degrees. So this one is 64. Now I can find RST. RST is over here. Angles on a straight line, 180 minus 48 minus 48 minus 64. 20 degrees. QRT. QRT. Okay, this obtuse angle over here. Now, this is 20. This is 84. So we can use angles at a point 360, minus away 84 and minus away this angle here. So we need to find this angle SRT. This is a triangle. So we can use angles in a triangle to find SRT. 180 minus 20 and 21. So SRT is 180 minus 20 and 21. 139. So this over here is 139. 360 minus 84 minus 139 will get you angle QRT. which is 137 degrees. Okay, 11. Tom wanted to buy a new television and started a 4-month savings plan. The line graph shows the total amount of savings at the start of each month. So basically, this is at the start of January and this is the start of February. So this is actually the record of how much he saved for the whole month of January, since this is just the start of February. Okay. So I'm going to record down like what are each of the values for the month. This is a 0. Every increase is 100. This is 300, 1,002. No, 1, 2, 3, 1,300. 2,700 and 3,600. So the amount, this is the is accumulative. So by the end of May, that's actually how much he saved over the last few months. So in January itself, how much did he save? From 0 to 300 means that in January, he saved 300. In February, he saved extra 1,000. In March is 1,400. Then in April, from 2,700 to 3,600 is 900. Okay, so these are actually the amounts that are being saved during the months January, February, March, April. So in this pie chart, they represent the amounts that's being saved for each month, which we have found above, right? All these are the amounts saved. So label each part of the pie chart with the month. So if you notice, there are only 4, not 5 months, because for May, this is the start of May. We don't know how much he saved for May itself, okay? So start of May signifies the end of April. So the smallest portion will be January, 300. So this one will be January. The biggest one will be here, January, February, March. This is for the month of March. So you're left with February and April. February and April just differs by 100. The bigger one is February. So this is February. And this will be April. What was the percentage increase in the amount of savings from the end of January to the end of February? Okay, end of January means the start of Feb. End of Feb means start of March. So you need to know all this so that you can read correctly from the graph. Okay, end of January is the start of February. Start of February, this shows the start of February. This is 300. So we're looking at 300. And then end of February is the start of March. So here. So we are looking at 300 to 1,300. The increase is 1,000. Okay, so from 300 to 1,300, the increase is 1,000. So percentage increase is increase over the original. What is the original? It increased from 300. So the original is 300. Over 300. times 100%. Now, you will have a mixed number, 333 and 1/3%. So that's the answer. Next, question 12. Figure shows a cylinder which is hollow in the middle and has a thickness of 10 cm. Find the area of the shaded face. So this part here. Now this shaded face is actually made up of a big circle minus a smaller circle. So what do we need to find? We need to find the big area of the big circle minus away the small circle. So to find area of circle, you need radius. For the big circle, the radius is 30. Okay, so radius of big circle is 30. So pi, which is 3.14 times 30 times 30. 2826. Next, the radius. Okay, so this is the radius of the big one. Then the radius of the small one is here. Radius of small circle is actually 30 minus 10. 30 minus away this 10, so 20. Pi times radius times radius. 1256. So the shaded part will be 2826 minus 1256. 1570 square cm, because it's area. Part B, Randall dipped the entire cylinder into red paint. What is the surface area of the cylinder that is painted red? Okay, so take note that this cylinder has this hollow portion. So first we take we want to find the circumference. Okay, which parts are easy to find? The bottom part is actually the area of a circle, right? And then the top part, we already have the area, which is 1570. But the 1570, right? If you're gonna dip it into red paint, this bottom part will actually be painted as well. This as well as this. Oh wait, sorry. This diagram says it's hollow in the middle, so it's actually a hole cut out. So no, we don't want this. Okay. So the portion in yellow, we have already found the area. Okay, so the yellow portion, there's actually two of that because this is a hollow cylinder. So actually, this is what we're looking for. When it's dipped, it's going to cover up this part on the bottom. At the bottom. Okay, so 2 times of 1570. Then next we need to find the area that is surface area that is around this cylinder as well as on the inner part of the cylinder. How do you find the surface area of the cylinder on the outside? The curved surface area. So the curved surface area, right? If you can imagine, when you open it up, when you unroll it, imagine this is a rolled up piece of paper. When you unroll it, right, this curved portion is going to form a rectangle. So the breadth is this height here. The breadth is this 42. So basically when you unroll, if you open up, if you make a cut here, then you flatten it, right? You end up with, okay, as you unroll, it will look like that. Right? You cut and then you unroll. And then this will actually give you a flat rectangle when you flatten it. So this is 42. And then this part here, which is like the length of the rectangle, is actually the circumference of the cylinder, the circumference. So there are two rectangles that we are trying to find. One is for the inner surface area of the cylinder. One is for the outer one. So the circumference of the outer one, let's find that. So circumference using diameter, right, which is 60. So pi 3.14 times 60, 188.4. So this will be 188.4. Then multiply by the breadth. This will give you the curved surface, outer curved surface area. So outer curved surface area. (188.4 times 42), 7912.8. Then for the inside, the diameter is 60 minus 10 minus 10. Which is 40. So circumference is pi times 40. 125.6. So the inner curved surface area will be 125.6 times the height, which is 42. 5275.2. Now we add them up. Inner curved surface area, outer curved surface area, plus 2 times of the yellow one, which is 1570. So inner, outer, plus 2 times 1570. This will give us 16328. That's the total surface area. Square cm. Question 13. A post office and a library are 300 meters apart. They are located between Ali's house and Nelson's house as shown below. The post office is exactly halfway in between Ali's house and Nelson's house. Here, this is the halfway mark. So one day, Ali and Nelson started jogging from their own house towards the library at the same time. Library is off-centered, is towards the right. Then they met each other at the library. Nelson jogged at 85 meters per minute, while Ali jogged at a speed 40 meters per minute faster than Nelson. How much further did Ali jog than Nelson? Okay, so first, if this is the center, and this is what Nelson jogged. So imagine this is like 1 unit plus a 360. So Ali actually jogged how much? Ali would have jogged this portion here, which is also 1 unit. Then plus this, plus this. Okay, this is what Ali jogged here. So you compare that with Nelson, the extra that Ali jogged is actually 360 times 2. So that is the extra that he jogged more than Nelson. So with that, for part B, how far is Nelson's house from the library? Here. So we're trying to find this 1 unit. Okay. So in the question, they tell us that Nelson is 85 meter per minute. Ali is 40 meter per minute faster. So Ali actually, this 40 meter per minute means in 1 minute, Ali can jog extra 40 meters. Then we know from part A that Ali actually jogged 720 meters more than Nelson. So what is the time taken for him to jog the extra 720 meters? So the time taken will be 720 divided by 40. And that will be in minutes because it's meter per minute. So 18 minutes. Now back to the question, they said that Nelson is 85 meter per minute, right? So for him to jog until the library, and if he takes 18 minutes, for all this to happen, it took 18 minutes. So the distance that he jogged will be 85 times 18. So 85 meter per minute times 18 minutes. So he was able to jog 1530 in 18 minutes, which means that that is the distance from his house to the library. Meters, 1530 meters. Question 14. 6 identical rectangular boxes can be stored in a cupboard 1.5 meters high. So this whole thing is 1.5 meters high. Two arrangements are shown here. The arrangement in A leaves a 30 cm gap at the side. Arrangement in B leaves a 13 cm gap at the side. And also another gap at the top here. So in the arrangement shown in figure B, what is the width of the gap at the top? Okay, so we have the length and the breadth. I mean, we don't have the length and breadth, but let's label. First off, let's label off the length and breadth. Length will be L, B will be breadth. L, 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 B, L. And this is 100, let's use cm, 150 cm. And this is B, 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 B. So if we can find L and we can find B, right? Technically 2L plus 2L minus of 4B will give you that gap over here. Okay, 2L minus away 4B will give you this gap over here. So 2L is 150, 1L is 150 divided by 2, which is 75 cm. Okay, 75 cm. So this one is, this over here is 75. So if you compare this and this part, they are actually the total length is actually the same. So I can say that 3b plus 30 is the same as 1b plus 75 plus 13. Okay, then we simplify, combine the 75 and 13. Which is 88. So what I can do now is to remove 30 on both sides. And we have 3b equals to 1b plus 58. So what is 58? 58 is 2b. 2b equals to 58. 1b is 58 divided by 2, which is 29. Now the difference between this 2l and 4b, 2l is, 150 minus away 4b. Okay, so 4b, 4 times 29, which is 116. Then the last step, 150 minus 116, 34. So answer 34 cm for the gap at the top. Okay, so I took 150 cm minus away 4 times of b. Okay, next, what is the width of the cupboard in meters? The width of the cupboard, 3 of b and plus a 30. B is 29. So 29 times 3, then add 30. Which is 117. Now they want in meters, what we have is in cm, so we need to do a conversion, 1.17 meters. All right, question 15. The ratio of the girls to boys in hall A is 7 to 3. Ratio of girls to boys in B and in hall B is 2 to 7. Total number of pupils in hall A is 2/3 the total of hall B. What is the ratio of boys in A to boys in B? Okay, so let's write down all the ratio first. So hall A, we have girls to boys, 7 to 3. Then we have hall B, girls to boys, 2 to 7. Then we have the total of hall A to hall B, 2 to 3 from that 2/3. Okay, common base. The common base is the total of hall A and hall B. So hall A has a total of 10. Here, hall B has a total of 9. So to make hall A the same, which is over here, this one have to times 5, get 10, 15. Then hall B, this is a 9, but this is a 15. We have to change to common multiple, which is 45. So we times 5, 10 to 35 to 45. Then this is times 3, get 30 here. So because your hall A changed, right? The total for hall A changed. You have to change this total for hall A as well. So this becomes 30. So 21, 9, 30. And now I can use the ratios across. What is the ratio of boys in hall A to boys in hall B? So hall A, boys in hall A to boys in hall B. 9 to 35. Simplify 9 to 35 because it cannot be simplified further. Okay, now B. After a total of 365 boys left the hall, percentage of all the girls became 72%. How many boys remained in the hall? Now, take note that the total number of girls will still remain the same because it's the number of boys that left. So although the girls, the percentage has changed, right? But the number of girls will not change. So the number of, let's write the ratio at first, like all the boys to all the girls. So it doesn't matter which hall they're from now. So boys will be 9 plus 35. 44. Then for the girls will be 21 units plus 10. 31. So from here, 21 and 10. Then the boys is 9 and 35. So the ratio we have at first is 44, 31. Okay, maybe let's do girls to boys. (31 to 44). There is 365 boys that left. Then the ratio in the end, girls became 62, so the boys will be 38%, right? So as a ratio, 62 to 38, simplify. Okay, 31 to 19. So take note that the number of girls doesn't change. So number of girls is 31 units. It's already the same. So what is 375? It is the decrease from 44 units to 19 units. So 25. So 25 units is 375. Then 1 unit will be 375 divided by 25, which is 15. How many boys remain in the hall? So we're looking for boys in the end, which is 19 units. So 19 times 15, 285. Question 16. At a concert, $9,180 was collected from the sale of adult and child tickets. The ratio of the money collected from adult to child tickets is 14 to 3. 1/5 of the tickets sold were child tickets. Each adult ticket cost $9 more than each child ticket. How many child tickets were sold? All right, so first, the ratio 14 to 3, right? That one is not talking about quantity. Quantity is in the number of tickets. So it is not talking about the number of tickets. This is talking about the cost, the value. So this can be applied to 9180. Okay, so in terms of total value, this is the ratio of the amount collected, and 17 units, the total, is 9180. So let's find how much is collected for the adults, how much is collected for the children first. Children, 3 units. Okay, so we already know like how much is being collected for adult tickets and how much is being collected for children's tickets, right? And we know the ratio of the amount sold, which is 1 to 5. But how are we going to use these values to help us find the cost of the children's tickets and as well as the adult tickets, because they only gave us the difference, right? So first, 1/5, right, means that in terms of quantity, one is the child ticket, so A to C. One is for the child. 1/5 for child tickets, so 4/5 for adult tickets. Adult would be 4. So 4 to 1 is the ratio of the quantity. So you see, if we talk about value, right, $7,560 is for these 4 units of adult tickets. 1,620 is for 1 unit of the children tickets. So what I'll call this is, let's call it 4 groups of adults. Okay, 4 groups of A. Four groups of A is $7,560. One group of C is this. So now you imagine like the number of adults is actually like 4 times. So we call it 4 groups. But whereas the children is like there's only 1 group. So with this amount, I want to compare like 1 group of adults versus 1 group of children so that the number of adults and children that we compare is the same. Okay, so 1 group of adults will be 7,560 divided by 4. So 1 group of adults will be 1,890. 1 group of children is 1,620. What is the difference? Is the difference just $9? $9 is the difference between 1 adult ticket and 1 child ticket, right? But evidently, this is not just a difference of $9. So let's find out what is this difference. So we take 1,890 minus away 1,620, which is $270. Now, $270, we're comparing 1 group of adults. So maybe this is 1 group of adults. Okay, 1 group of adults. Compare it against 1 group of children. The difference here is 270. But the difference here is a difference of $9. So if we take 270, you divide by $9, you're actually getting like the number of tickets in each group. Number of tickets in each group. Which is 30. So children only 1 group, right? So if there are 30 tickets here, there's only 1 group of children, so 30 is the answer. There's only 1 group of children, so 30. Or you can say 30 times 1. But if they're asking for adults, then you take 30 times 4, because there are 4 groups of adults. Last question. At a bakery, cupcakes are sold in boxes of 4, tarts are sold in boxes of 3 at the prices shown below. Mrs. Lee spent a total of this on some cupcakes and tarts at the bakery. She repacks them onto trays such that there are 3 cupcakes and 5 tarts on each tray for a party. How many tarts did she buy from the bakery? All right, so if she bought some cupcakes and tarts, and she managed to repack them onto trays, there are no leftovers. So if there are 3 cupcakes and for every 3 cupcakes, there are 5 tarts, then we know that the ratio of the total number of cupcakes to tarts has to be 3 to 5. Okay, because on one tray is 3 to 5. On the second tray, on 2 trays, it's 6 to 10, which is also 3 to 5 when you simplify. Okay, 3 trays, it will still be 3 to 5. It will always be 3 to 5. So the total, I can say that this ratio must be 3 to 5. So if cupcakes, you're getting it in a multiple of 3. Tarts, you're getting it in a multiple of 5. But for cupcakes, you can only buy it in a multiple of 4. Then the number of cupcakes must be a multiple of both 3 and 4. Okay, so the cupcakes I will times 4 to make it a multiple, a common multiple of 3 and 4. So this other number for the tarts we have to change as well. This is a 20. So it has to be at least a 20. For the tarts, on the other hand, has to be a multiple of 5 initially, 5, as well as 3. But this 5 can't remain as a 5 because of the cupcakes. So this 5 has to be changed to a 20. So now the tarts must be a multiple of a 20 and 3. Or rather, it must be a multiple of 3. So how do you get a multiple of 3 from 20? 20 is not a multiple of 3, so you have to times 3 to get a multiple of 3. Because there's no way you're going to get 20 tarts if they are sold in 3s. So this will give you 60. And this will give us 36. Okay, so this is the minimum number of cupcakes and minimum possible combination of cupcakes and tarts. 36 cupcakes, 60 tarts. That will give us just enough to be able to buy 4 cupcakes in groups of 4 and buy tarts in groups of 3 and yet have 3 cupcakes and 5 tarts on each tray. Okay, we have satisfied all of that. Now, the next thing that we need to satisfy is this amount. We need to calculate how much is this. Okay, so assuming if this is the lowest possible combination that we can have, right? How much money would this cost? 36 cupcakes and 60 tarts. How much would it cost? 4 cupcakes cost 210. Oops. What about 36 cupcakes? How much would it cost? So this is times 9. This is 1890. Then for the tarts, 3 tarts cost 160. 60 tarts will be 20 times. Which is $32. Now, if we have this as one group, right? How much would it be? It will be 1890 plus $32. 5090. Okay, there's one group of 36 cupcakes and 60 tarts. But the value we want is not this. She spent a total of this. So use this to divide to find like the number of groups. which will give us 4 groups. Now, 4 groups of what are we trying to find? How many tarts did she buy? How many tarts did she buy? Every group, there are 60 tarts. So number of tarts will be 4 groups times 60. Total 240 tarts. Okay, with that's the end of this is MGS paper 2, prelim paper 2023, paper 2.